Okay, so here's the big bad Ford. And it's got a new engine in it. So I purchased basically what you could call it a short block. It was just the block with the crank and stuff, and no cylinder head and no shroud or starter, none of the other stuff on it. And so I had to strip the old motor, put all the accessories and stuff on it, and looked like a pretty good engine. It actually looked like it had been rebuilt not too far in the past. It had a rebuilder's piston in it, just a standard bore, but it definitely wasn't original, which is fine. Valves looked good. So it's all together, and I just got the carburetor on it and got it to stop leaking. So we're going to see if this thing will crank. I got a battery in it. Hopefully that's good. And this muffler I think is just temporary. I'd like to bring it out a little further and then do a 90 up and then make a little stack for it. So that'll probably happen. But I want to see if this engine's going to run. So I don't even know if I have everything hooked up properly. Here's some of the parts from the old engine that I salvaged. Crank, dipstick tube, governor stuff, that cover, and actually this big bearing. I was surprised to see that in a small engine. Thought I'd save it. It's kind of cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on the throttle so I can control it, and we'll give her a crank. Alright, let's see what happens. Plug wire came off the coil. That would do it. I guess I knocked it off and it was messing around with the carburetor. Okay. Can never go too smoothly. Alright, I think it actually just burned up all the fuel in the carb because I've still got this valve closed. But that is very, very promising. That is awesome, actually. So the engine that was in this tractor, someone had monkeyed around with it a fair bit. Had a JB welded cylinder head and some other stuff, like this cover was JB welded on, and other you know, it had a few weird things like that going on, and it was burning a ton of oil to the point where if I ran it for like 10 seconds it would smoke out this whole shop, and you know, you couldn't even you couldn't run it at all without, like, you know, the fire department getting called. So I had, you know, just did the very basics. I did an oil change and a couple minor things to it, new plug and new coil, just to see if it was like an ignition related problem. But the engine was just, it was toast. And so when I tore it apart, sure enough, the cylinder was badly gouged. Like, I'm talking like a 1/4 inch gouge in the cylinder. And it was from, again, someone had it apart, and it looked like they had not reassembled it properly, and the piston pin had slid over and gouged up the cylinder wall. So yeah, that block was junk, and I took a chance on this one, and I think I've done okay. So I got this 14 horsepower engine for $100, 100 American, I think, so a little more. And then the shipping was pretty reasonable. It was only like $40 or $50 shipping. So whatever, $150, 200, that is not bad, because these motors are not too easy to come by now, at least around here. But that's very promising. If it runs that good, just, you know, just starting it up like that, then this should probably be a good motor once I get it tuned up and running right. I just got to get the governor figured out. I got that other linkage over there to, whoops, to help me out too. So, okay, and then once I get it to the point where it's running okay, the next phase of this project is going to involve these hydraulic cylinders. This muffler's garbage, but mounting this hydraulic pump to the front of this motor somehow. So that's where I'm going with this project. I need some better tires, but these are just kind of temporary. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, well, I will see you then. And it begins.